Part 9. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Pian Hai. Chapter 81. Many thoughts flashed through Yeshi's mind, but in the end he chose to continue going deeper. At the same time, his voice was heard in the live broadcast room. I have a feeling. I'm afraid something will appear ahead. You should be mentally prepared first. My fat man is playing money, ha ha ha, fat man, here I come. Why is the atmosphere so solemn at the beginning? What does it say upstairs that CAO has arrived, but brother Ye feels something. The sudden warning scares me a little. Don't worry about what monsters appear, brother Ye, will kill them all. I am God. I have collected a lot of legends about cave monsters. I will let you know what a professional commentary is later. Not only the anchor is professional, but people like me who watch the live broadcast are also professional. Burning Cloud is me, Mr. K. I am watching the commentary on the scary monsters while watching Lao Yes live broadcast, and I am completely prepared. Let the storm come more violently. I don't know what happened. Yeshi's warning in advance was originally to let them pay attention. As a result, good guys, not only did these people fail to be more cautious after that. On the contrary, his mood was high and he became more enthusiastic and reckless. What could Yeshi say? Of course, he hoped that they could maintain such enthusiasm later on. Some distance further down. From the depths of the well, you can already hear the faint sound of clanking. This sound should be the sound made by the collision between the train wheels and the rails. Hearing this sound 10,000 meters deep underground. Inexplicable fear suddenly struck from the dark depths of the drilling well. There was a lot of discussion in the barrage, when I suspected that I was hallucinating. Rumble. The crashing sound of the train passing through the junction of two railway tracks reached the ears of everyone watching the live broadcast. Yeshi, who was continuing to fall, also stopped. When the light shines forward, a green train suddenly appears in the distant world. This green leather train has obviously gone through a lot of wind and frost. Some of the exterior paint has started to peel off. In addition to appearing 10,000 meters underground. Everything else about this green train seemed so normal. Woo woo. This is the sound of the train's whistle coming to a stop. Yeshi turned on the ultra-high-definition searchlight in his hand to the maximum. This green train, which came from an unknown timeline and appeared 10,000 meters underground, appeared in front of everyone. Alegio : Burning Cloud is me, I'm sorry, I apologize for my shallowness and ignorance 30 seconds ago, please stop coming, Storm. I am God, sure enough, professional things need to be left to professionals, putting aside the cave monster illustrated book I just wrote in my hand. Although the depth of the well is very deep, the width is not very wide. It is far from the width of a green train, which is more than 20 meters. So this train is standing vertically, that is, it is rushing towards Yeshi and the drilling mouth. I didn't expect that the abnormality I just felt was actually a green leather train coming from the underground. It's really a shocking picture, with a sense of staggering that time and space are intertwined. But this makes me more curious about what kind of things I will encounter if I go deeper. At this time, Yeshi stepped on an iron pipe inserted into the mountain with one foot. Looking at the train not far away, I sighed. The cold light shines downward, barely allowing people to see clearly what the head of the green train looks like. It's strange. There are no rails connected to the underground. Where did the sound of the train colliding with the rails come from? I thought the previous 10,000 meter descent was a bit boring, but I didn't expect that the real excitement would be the 10,000 meter descent. This is what you should be thinking about now. Why don't you worry about what to do if the other party bumps into you? There is no place to hide. Gauba is exciting, what speaks? Aaleguo, my eyes were really open today. What evil happened to make me encounter this live broadcast room? It's hard, but it seems that the big guys are all here and I feel a lot better. Even if underground people appear underground, it is not something difficult to accept, but a train, is this humming human? Yashi occasionally glanced at the live broadcast room and was very satisfied to see all the members breaking through the defense. So I continued to move forward for a while. At this time, we were only 3 or 4 meters away from the green train, so close that we could already feel the thick black smoke coming from the roof. Yashi waved his hand, greeted those who were still watching the live broadcast, and then said. As I took a closer look, I realized that this train looked a little familiar. After all, I made some preparations and collected a lot of relevant information before coming here. In folklore, there seems to have been a similar green train. It's just not as outrageous as I am now. I met it 10,000 meters underground. In those records, this kind of train is called a ghost train. It appears and disappears. It can ignore conventional physical laws, break through time and space, appear quietly and disappear mysteriously. I don't know why you came underground to collect legendary information about trains, but I don't want to ask. Let me open a certain Catclaw website and see if I can find records of this ghost train. Yashi observed the ghost train in front of him with great interest, especially the bottom of the train. He looked up at the camera, pointed at a place and said. Now it seems that this legend has been verified here. A green train can appear 10,000 meters underground, which really breaks the laws of physics and the limitations of time and space. After saying that, Yashi asked the system a question in his mind. After getting a confirmed answer, he didn't care about the uproar in the live broadcast room, and jumped directly onto the ghost train with a few steps. Dang! The sound of the iron sheet hitting echoed underground. I haven't reacted yet. Why did old Ye jump up directly? No one left behind. I'll use a talisman to suppress the coffin lid that's ready to move. Then I'll use some holy water to prevent the corpse from turning into a corpse. So no one is curious whether there will be anyone on this ghost train. As the person above said, I'd rather there be no one on the ghost train. It's more thrilling if there are people. I hope a few monsters will jump out, and then the old Yayudeo will comfort my wounded heart. As Yeshi jumped on the ghost train, the camera also moved with Yeshi. Everyone can also see clearly what is inside this ghost train. Yeshi's voice rang out, with an echo, overlapping. This ghost train has a driver and a conductor. It seems that everything a train must have is available. Hearing the driver's inquiry, Yeshi nodded and smiled at the other party very friendly, and began to talk. Unlike what many people guessed, the conductor and driver here look like normal humans. At least on the surface. If we don't look at the exposed mechanical parts on their backs, and don't see that this is 10,000 meters underground. Is all this so normal? But many people saw it and only felt that the world was extremely terrifying. A chill rushed from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. It turned out that the person who turned into a corpse was me. People have their limits, so, why don't I hide in the coffin myself? Great, flesh and blood are suffering, machinery is ascending, big is good, more is beautiful, caliber is justice, turrets are truth, my Mechanic-Use is back on Blue Planet today. Old Ye, why are you chatting with this monster? I can't stand it anymore, I really can't stand it. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yu Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 82. The moment Yeshi stepped onto the ghost train, I felt countless eyes staring at me, especially the two eyes from the front of the car that were the strongest. When the camera turns, Yeshi saw a conductor with a handsome face and looked at him with a smile. The other person's face is half hidden in the darkness. Combined with the clicking and sliding mechanical gears behind it, it looks terrifying. The people at the scene were very calm, but the people watching the live broadcast were so frightened that they almost died on the spot. Yeshi held the Xiankong sword and walked towards the conductor very casually. It would be rude to read any more, I choose to exit and let you enjoy the world of two. Hello, passenger, what is your destination? Please buy your train ticket here. The voice is crisp and sweet, just like the voice on the radio. Yashi held the Xiankong sword and nodded. Oh, where did you come from? Where are you going now? What is the bull's head talking to the horse's mouth? It belongs to chicken mouth and duck tongue. Lao Ye is so fierce, this is a distance of 10,000 meters underground, my scalp feels numb just listening to it. My fat man is playing money, Lao Ye is holding a sword, isn't he? There's nothing to be afraid of, it's just a pile of parts. If I were there, I would definitely hit the opponent and scream. August 1st, you are not good at doing things, but you are the best at bragging. The world is getting weirder and weirder. Even if Fengxian village is weird, it is not as weird as Lao Ye. The conductor still maintained his standard smile. Passengers are asked to check the initial station and the final station after buying the ticket. Yashi walked inside. By the way, I also clicked and took a photo of the wonderful scene of the ghost train. After casually posting a blog post with the text Underground Adventures. Yashi replied. That's not necessary. I'm going down to the ground, and you're going up to the ground. Even after thinking about it, I know that the destinations are not in the same place. Let me go and take a look inside the carriage. The conductor's face, showing a perfect smile, suddenly became a little stiff. The gears in the back are jammed. It's like this. You are not allowed to enter our carriage without buying a ticket. Please come to me first and show your ticket to enter. The salesperson hasn't finished her last word yet. Yes, she had already pushed open the door of the first carriage with a clang. With this smooth movement, netizens watching the live broadcast room can see with the naked eye that black smoke began to rise from behind that flight attendant, and the expression on his face began to crack. Laughing to death, I asked you to show off in front of me, brother. Yeah, you know who you are meeting. If you dare to show off again, you will be killed with a sword. I'm so happy, I have this magical power. Every time even the most terrifying things can suddenly turn into comedies. I wiped it. I usually say it was so angry that it split open. This is the first time I saw someone's face actually split with anger. Ugh, what about the mechanics that we promised, but why are biological tentacles coming out of this cracked face? After Yashi kicked the car open, he immediately felt the movement behind it. Suddenly turning around, he saw what looked like a close relative of the giant octopus and a blooming flesh flower about to swallow him. It's disgusting and hideous, mixed with a strange sense of beauty. Sonorous. Xianlong's sword produced light out of thin air, and the sword energy flashed across instantly. Directly cut the conductor in front of him in half. Ping 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 pong, tinkling. Parts broken all over the floor. Half of the body fell directly out of the ghost train. After wielding the sword, Yashi sheathed it. He didn't even glance outside out of the corner of his eye. Go straight into the car. Yashi had no scruples, because when he asked about the system, the system said this. Ding, as long as the host doesn't buy a train ticket, you can do whatever else you want. Now that I have received such a positive answer, then there is no need for him to wrong himself. Lifting the bronze sword, Yashi stepped into the carriage. A barrage of screams. Handsome, so handsome, I want to play swordplay too, Gaoba is so handsome. Didn't the golden retriever say that the world has been unblocked? I want to learn this. I feel the charm of the fairy tales in novels. When will Lao Ye show us how to fly with a sword? Wait a minute, I'm the only one thinking about what will happen if the conductor falls into the well. Can the car still be driven? Good question. Upstairs, it's okay, this person has been resurrected after you finished typing, don't worry. Yashi thought there was something strange inside the ghost carriage. As soon as I stepped in, I saw a bunch of confused people and inhumans sitting on their own chairs. They were a little surprised when they saw Yashi. One of them asked, "New passenger, Yeshi stared at the large conch on the seat and the seaweed on the ground and fell into deep thought. It seems that this ghost train not only goes to the center of the earth, but also goes to the bottom of the sea. Then why didn't I encounter it when I was at the bottom of the sea? What a pity. He glanced towards the live broadcast room and then spoke to the camera. If you are a new passenger, your seat is not in the first car. Please go to the back. The man looked at Yeshi with a somewhat pitiful expression. Yeshi looked as usual. Are you from the center of the earth? Or from another era? 1921. Although I don't know why Yeshi asked this. But after feeling the overwhelming momentum from him, he chose to tell the truth. Yeshi asked a few more questions, and after confirming, he said to the camera. It seems that this ghost train is indeed traveling on the dimensions of time and space. These people come from different times and different places. But it seems that nothing has been found about the ghost train's body at present. Wait for me to continue to see if there is anything strange in it. Yeshi explained to the live broadcast room. And then continued to walk inside. As for the other creatures on the train, they just looked at Yeshi inexplicably. Some wanted to question him, but they saw Yeshi holding a sword and retreated instantly. After passing 3 carriages, Yeshi found that he had reached the end. And the scene in front of him also made some people gasp and contribute to global warming. It turned out to be a space-time wormhole. This is something similar to a wormhole, which can make interstellar jumps. I didn't expect to encounter this thing 10,000 meters underground. How did you recognize it at a glance? So magical. Yeshi's voice rang out. And in front of him was a rotating vortex, which seemed to be colorless and yet also colored. It was filled with a palpitating feeling, as if plunging into it would lead to eternal damnation. But the vortex was slowly disappearing. This should be the arrival of the ghost train, activating the time-space wormhole left here. In addition, at the end of the ghost train, sat a non-human creature like a ghost. When Yeshi saw this creature for the first time, his pupils shrank. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 83. The entire depth of the drilling has actually reached very deep into the ground. There is nothing new except for the endless rocks. The searchlight in Yeshi's hand can illuminate a very small area. In the entire 10,000 meter underground, there is no light except for the ghost train. After all, we finally came across a well-known attraction. It's not fun to just stroll around all of them. But I didn't think of just strolling around. You will encounter a ghost under a kerosene lamp at the end of the ghost train. This ghost is not humanoid, but its long tail looks a bit like a lizard. Its shadow is vague, and it looks very scary. Of course, what surprised Yeshi the most was the identity of the other underground person. The lizard ghost floats in mid-air, its scattered tentacles spread out, and its tail is quite long. Under the swing, it reflects each other with the kerosene lamp. Facts aside, this scene has some faint beauty. Identified as a pervert upstairs. Are you the first passenger in this car? Yeshi didn't expect that he would get such an unexpected surprise while just strolling around. The lizard ghost has been holding it in for a long time, but nothing comes out, but it makes netizens anxious to death. Chu Xiang Xiang Tianj, okay, I'll pick it up for you, so what's next? Zhou, I don't understand this. This was a special language, but Yeshi miraculously understood it. Then here for the first time, the erudition of the fish, the #1 scholar in the 10 countries, was affirmed. At least he didn't need to go through a special translation when he spoke. He seemed to be wondering how Yeshi got here. The lizard ghost asked him many questions. When he learned that he was only heading towards the center of the earth, He shook his head crazily. Let him never go any further. And then the information about this ghost train. It only said that its life form had changed because it stayed on the train for a long time. The other passengers got off the bus when they arrived at the station, and so on for an unknown amount of time. According to what the lizard man said, the starting station is an iceberg, stretching as far as the eye can see. As for the terminal station, it is also a land of ice and snow, but it is not the same place. As for the specific name, this lizard ghost can't remember clearly. The whole memory has been confused and intertwined, but it has a profound impact in my mind, that is, never get off the train. Yeah, she chatted with the lizard ghost all the time. From time to time, he acts as a translation machine and explains to the camera what he just said. And just when he was about to continue asking, with a rumble, the train whistle sounded. It turns out that the ghost train stayed here for too long, and now it is about to start a new journey. Yeah, she felt an invisible force pushing him out, and he fell into the drilling well. However, he quickly created a stress point and stood up, looking at the ghost train gradually going away with a pity. I still have a lot of important things that I haven't asked about, so why did I just leave? Yeah, she looked at the last carriage of the ghost train from afar. The voice echoed under the drilling well, and what he said was shocking. In this case, let me show you how this ghost train leaves and whether it is really going to go to the ground from here. After Yeshi finished speaking, he actually chased the ghost train. What's going on? Sure enough, it is his identity as a human that limits Lao Ye's performance. It's okay to see a green train underground, isn't it too much to chase the train up there? What do you think, Yeshi? Yeshi chased the ghost train underground, and then in everyone's eyes. I saw the ghost train slowly disappearing, starting from the front of the car and also disappearing from the rear. The speed was so fast that it probably didn't even last 30 seconds. Yeshi just stopped, his tone was quite pity, and finally he shook his head. Forget it, seeing the disappearance of this ghost train with your own eyes can be regarded as witnessing a miracle. He waved his hand towards the camera, causing many people to complain that this man was really unparalleled in his heart. It made me laugh so hard. Lao Ye just finished talking and ran after the green leather train, but after only a few steps, the other party disappeared in a blink of an eye. So I am the only one who is still paying attention to the space-time cavities that Lao Ye mentioned before. Such things in science fiction novels will also appear, right? Kick the door frame. Is there a fool upstairs? Why do I watch Yeshen's live broadcast room with such a fool every day? Are you worthy? Everything in fantasy has appeared. Isn't fantasy more unacceptable than science fiction? Yeshi continued to fall at this time, and he could still see a space-time cavity that looked like a chaotic color. Although it is a bit outrageous to see a green train 10,000 meters underground. But I think if we keep going down, we might see something even more outrageous. Yeshi directly passed through the space-time hole, and his whole figure fell down quickly like gliding, which was frightening to see. But my adrenaline surged, as if I was watching some extreme challenge show. Have you been gliding for too long? Are you falling vertically? It seems that Lao Ye is tired of being Spider-Man, so be prepared. Has anyone calculated how far we have fallen from the beginning? Why do I feel so close to hell? If Yoruo really heard the howling of ghosts, do you think I was hallucinating? Stop hallucinating, I heard it too. I knew that once Lao Ye said there was a gate to hell, it would really be there. Yeshi could feel the whistling wind next to him, especially because he was falling so fast. So the acceleration is getting faster and faster. Yeshi just enjoyed the fun of skydiving. Has anyone noticed that Lao Ye's camera has been keeping up? Kicking the door frame, the world has been updated. Why, the live broadcast equipment is not allowed to be updated. Careful people have already felt that if calculated according to the speed of Yeshi's fall, it has passed the 12,262 meter depth of the Kola drilling mentioned at the beginning, but Yeshi is still falling. When the light shines around, Some people also found that starting from a certain distance and then going down, the caves dug around were completely inconsistent with common sense. If you look at it from the front, you can see deep artificial traces from the drilling. But after a certain distance, the stone walls on both sides did not change much. It's still the same as before, just like copy and paste. Oops, that's strange. The maximum depth as promised is not 12,262 meters, why is this? I have a bold guess. Aleguo, my guess is correct. This is because the well is naturally growing downwards, otherwise, the machinery used would be different, resulting in different excavation marks. Even the same instrument would have completely different results in different rock layers. Aleguo's speculation is horrifying and unbelievable. But the audience in the live broadcast room didn't know if it was because the bottom line was breached again and again. This time, except for a few netizens, geologists, whose views were shattered, others were quite tolerant. Whoever said it is quite acceptable to me, stand up for me. Can grass growing naturally on mountain peaks be the same as pasting and copying tens of thousands of meters underground? People naturally grow on rocks, but you naturally grow on rocks. Does it make sense to directly paste and copy? It's easy to scold people upstairs, so that's alright. Who can accept this thing? Why don't you just say there's a magma purgatory down here? Bite. A clear and sweet voice sounded. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 84. Ding, congratulations to the host. The exploration of the core drilling map has increased by 21%, and the overall progress is now 32%. Ding, congratulations to the host for unlocking the second puzzle piece of core drilling. The reward is Eternal Crystal, Bioresonance Cell Energy Capsule, Biocomposite or X5 kg, Advanced Genetic Energy Liquid X10, and Core Drilling Fragments X2. Core Drilling Manual, Lava Channel, Purgatory Channel. Eternal lava, what is the relationship between the abyss magma on the seabed and the eternal lava here? Of course it is an integral relationship. If you had gone down the abyss under the sea, you would have come here. Time and space are relative terms. Things, so please don't be too surprised to find distortions in time or space in the world. Purgatory passage, different civilizations have different emphases. Some tend to advance the overall civilization, and some are more keen on improving individual strength. From your current height, it is difficult to evaluate who is against whom. Wrong, but the lava tunnel you are about to see is the legacy of an extremely brilliant technological civilization, so please enjoy exploring it. Eternal Crystal, this is an incredible invention that uses alien beasts as carriers to build a working machine that can continuously extract energy from the universe. If you must need an analogy, then it is equivalent to a reactor with a very nice name, but it is enough to provide interstellar energy. Battleships provide the source of power. Bioresonance cell energy cabin, after using the genetic energy liquid, it will have a certain impact on the body. You need to enter the recuperation cabin to repair the body. Ordinary people can open the gene lock when entering. Of course, you open the divine treasure. To naturally activate the body's universe, you don't need an ordinary energy store, it's better to be an exhibit. Biocomposite or, in this map exploration, the most precious technological product obtained so far can be described with an ancient Dragon Kingdom vocabulary, good fortune. As long as you are given enough biocomposite ore, you can make anything you want, even a real world, a real god. Although it does not have the power of the ancient snake god to transform into a walking mirror, it is the top material in biotechnology civilization. The moment Yeshi heard the voice in his ears, he stopped his descending body. The person who was shouting and arguing suddenly became weak. No, I just mentioned it like this. Lao Ye, you don't have to give me face like this, right, just keep going down, I want peace of mind. Is the person upstairs talking, Brother Ye, I am not such a heartless person. I hope you jump directly into hell and don't leave any room for us, otherwise your heart will hurt. I feel the temperature rising rapidly. I'm afraid there is magma below. Yeshi's voice came out, causing some people's faces to freeze. It's not necessary, I just said it casually, so don't take it seriously. Yeshi no longer rushed down as suddenly as before. Instead, it slowed down and slowly descended. There was no need for Yeshi to speak again. Everyone saw the change in the air and knew that Yeshi was not wrong. And after going to the live broadcast room and writing the title 20,000 meters underground, everyone felt emotions that would never be shocking again and were shocked again. Countless people gasped in front of the live broadcast room, and it felt like the netizens watching Yeshi's live broadcast were about to suck all the air out of the world. Originally, the width of the Kola drilling well was not wide. However, looking down, there is an endless sea of magma below. Rolling heat waves rush up, and gurgling bubbles emerge. The fire rain all over the sky fell into the magma, ticking, scorching the world. But when I looked up from the fire rain, I saw nothingness. The color of blood soared into the sky, as if the magma was formed by the red blood of countless people, making everyone who saw it unable to help but hold their breath and concentrate. My God, this is hell. Someone couldn't help but type this sentence. More people agreed deeply after seeing this line of writing. Yeshi was only 500 meters away from the eternal lava. With his own cultivation alone, he can still block the current temperature, but the temperature in the lava may be extremely high. Yeshi suddenly regretted rescuing the fish with water spirit beads. After taking a deep breath, Yeshi looked at the camera. I didn't expect that the place where this drilling well leads is a sea of magma. The picture here is very similar to the record of a place. Of course, I don't know much about these. I just roughly know where the abyssal magma we saw in Poseidonia leads to. Just as you thought, this is the place in front of us. While speaking, Yeshi couldn't help but take a moment to glance at the divine weapon lying in his crystal ball. It happens to be related to the deep sea, but unfortunately it has not been completely formed yet. Otherwise, it would be just right to use it here. After regaining my mind again, Yeshi looked at the live broadcast room and the barrages passing by very quickly. He couldn't help but nod when he saw some of the questions and speculations. As you may have guessed, this is not a distance of 12,000 meters. I have now fallen to the 20,000 meter position, just as the title of my live broadcast room says. Although it is officially recorded that the drilling depth of Kola is 12,262 meters, it has been sealed in dust for decades. Drilling has long continued to extend downwards in a strange trend. I was shocked when I found out about this, and I decided to come here to explore. No one in the world except Yeshi knew that the Kola drilling would grow. Therefore, except Yeshi, everyone in the world began to wonder where Yeshi got the news from. Especially some confidential agency personnel. Looking at each other, at a loss, knowing that they would be scolded again. When Yeshi said this, his tone was full of disbelief. He looked into the magma. I came here because of the legend that the Kola drilling opened the door to hell. I believe everyone has also felt that even if this is not hell, it is a close relative of hell. Brother, what did you say about seeing the records that are similar to this place? Yeshi blinked when he saw this comment, his tone was very sincere. It's just a legend of an ancient civilization, they recorded information about eternal lava. When I came here, I felt that the picture recorded in the ancient book was very similar to this one. If it's true, I'm afraid there are things left by that ancient civilization in this eternal lava. Yeshi paused and continued. A passage, a purgatory passage. Goosebumps, hiss. Purgatory, passage, eternal lava, it sounds outrageous. Why do I feel a sense of epic coming at me, and I'm turning over a page of history, and it's a civilization that has long been buried by time. Not necessarily buried, it's just strange, where did these civilizations go? Kick the doorframe, what's so strange, it's like you haven't seen the Atlantis civilization, the bottom of the sea, go ahead. 1,000 miles without staying, but the question is, where is the passage, and is there any need to build a passage in such a place, where does it lead to, what material is it made of, flame civilization, right? Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 85. When Yeshi's voice came from the vast underground. The fire rain from the sky fell down one after another, and at this moment it was like magma pouring back. Although when it was first mentioned that hell, many people believed it quite a lot. But when this scene really appeared, this kind of hell purgatory in myths and legends made people shudder. Yeshi was still wearing a nanosuit. At this time, he clicked the button on his side. A protective energy shield enveloped him. And the protective shield blocked the falling fire rain. Every time I think that old Yet is in the fantasy plane, he will tell me that we are a technological planet. Actually, it is acceptable this level of protective clothing can still be made according to our current technology. I really cut my butt with a knife today, and I opened my eyes, there is actually a passage under this magma. Yeshi also saw the changes in the magma. He concentrated for a while, but saw that in this endless underground magma, there was a place where the fire rain could not approach. And it seems that because there was too much fire rain from the sky, the thing hidden in the magma appeared in front of everyone. This is a pure black thing that seems to be covered with scales. And it showed its traces under the magma. The long corridor went all the way to the deepest part, and the entrance was also in the magma. Yeshi still began to open the protective suit, and his voice was a little calm. The magma inside is not ordinary magma, and the temperature is much higher than that of ordinary lava. When he said this to the camera, he looked up at the sky. This kind of continuous magma has probably been falling for many years, from the distant years to the present. It is nothing more than what is called eternal lava in ancient records. I just don't know where the fire rain in the sky comes from, why it is continuous. From here, it seems that this magma is caused by fire rain. After speaking, he glanced at the barrage. Then he raised the Xuanhuan sword, opened the protective shield to the maximum, and jumped into the magma along the black scale channel. As he thought, the temperature of the magma here was incredible. When Yeshi touched the underground lava, the protective shield around him was instantly broken, which was shocking. But at this time, Yeshi took out a blue light out of thin air and dispersed the lava around him. And then Yeshi fell directly to the side of the passage. At this time, a mechanical voice came out. Ding ding ding, testing. Biological race, human. Open passage. The moment Yeshi heard this voice, he just landed. The sound of the machine rang, and the barrage was excited. It's really a technological product. Where is the Church of Science? It's finally time for us to stand up. But the problem is, this doesn't look like a mechanical product, it's outrageous. Yeshi stepped into the passage and felt the soft texture under his feet. And took a look at both sides. It was transparent, and he could see the overwhelming magma coming towards him. I feel like I'm stepping on flesh when I step on it. Yeshi's tone was strange. He squatted down. Let the camera zoom in, and observe together. Why is it still squirming? Don't worry, where is the technological world? Biotechnology is also technology. You don't have much experience, but I'm curious about the material. Let old Ye take a piece off for us to identify. Yeshi, you don't want to live, but I do. Yeshi observed it for a while and then stood up. Explaining to the camera. I took a look, this purgatory passage should be made of the flesh of unknown creatures, and then added some special means. But if there are more, I can't see it. Yeshi said as he walked forward. But when I just came in, I heard the sound of machine detection. Although I don't know whether the main body of the civilization is human, at least it has no ill will towards humans, otherwise I can't get in. I don't believe you can't get in. Yashi shrugged, not caring about what the barrage said. Just walked along the passage to the front. I can't figure it out, I just vaguely remember that this road goes down. I thought I should fall down after entering. How can I walk? Is everything okay upstairs? Do you remember that we live on a ball? That's enough. Who told you that we live on a ball? Does a planet have to be a ball? A mouse is not a mouse. There are flames on both sides. Yashi heard the sound of beasts inside the passage from time to time. And those netizens who watched the live broadcast undoubtedly heard it. They were shocked for a while. Yashi glanced at the somewhat crazy barrage and said casually, "Don't be too surprised. You heard it right. There was a strange sound coming out. It should be that the passage itself is like this. Maybe it is the remaining biological consciousness. Or maybe it is something that the civilization deliberately added. Who knows? I'm not a scientist. If you ask me about a legend, I can still explain it. Forget this." Yashi walked and walked, and I don't know what he thought of. Suddenly he looked at the camera and said, "It's strange, I fell all the way down from the Kola Peninsula. If there were changes in space, I would feel something, but there wasn't. Therefore, from the angle and position, I have actually fallen vertically down here. I have already reached 20,000 meters underground and saw the lava, but now the passage is still falling. From this point of view, will I pass through the center of the Earth? Or is it that the space of this purgatory passage has changed in spatial displacement without knowing it?" When Yashi said this, he shook his head. Looking at the speculations in the live broadcast room, he said, "No, this distance can't reach the center of the Earth at all, unless I teleport there." Yashi thought of what the system said when it reminded him, "Don't pay too much attention to space and time, because these two things are relative." Now he understands this even more. "It's okay, I'll know if I walk a little further forward." Yashi calculated the position he had passed in his mind. Unfortunately, because there is no coordinate to correspond to, his sense of position is madly weakened. I don't know how long I walked. So long that the netizens watching the live broadcast felt a little creepy and worried. Yashi heard a crisp reminder in his ear. Yashi, who began to doubt his knowledge of geography, raised his head. A smile appeared on his face. He looked at the live broadcast room. The purgatory passage has come to the end. This time it takes a long time, I even suspect that it will pass through the center of the Earth. Yashi smiled, and the barrage also changed from solemn to light. Ding, if the host wants to determine the location coordinates, he cannot confirm it with the current location markers of human society, but determine a dimension and then use the dimension as a reference point. In the ancient civilization that created the purgatory passage, they used dimensions as the drawing points, so the dislocation of space would cause some people who did not rely on this to have doubts. Yashi blinked when he heard the voice of the system. Then looked ahead and walked out. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 86. That's incredible. After hurting the Chinese teacher, history teacher, and natural science teacher, Lao Ye once again kicked the geography teacher hard. I don't understand how I got here, seriously, I don't understand more and more every time. God, please save me. When Yashi came out of the passage again. Then I saw a land of ice and snow. And a train stop. From the world of flames to the world of ice and snow in an instant. It really has to be surprising. And Yashi looked back at the passage he came from. It was like the pulse of the earth lying on the ice and snow. It seems we got an unexpected surprise this time. Yeshi walked off the ice, pointing to the train platform in front. I heard from the lizard man that the starting and ending stations of the green train are both ice and snow worlds, and this should be one of them. He walked to the platform, took a look, and nodded firmly. Yes, this is the starting station of the ghost train. Another mystery solved. Yeshi laughed. Looking up, he saw everyone in the live broadcast room almost roaring, asking him to quickly turn his head and take a look. Yeshi was quite free, with a bright smile on his face. Although anyone who saw this bright smile wanted to punch him in the face. Lao Ye, did you do this on purpose? You turned your head and looked behind you. I was so angry. I don't understand how there can be a wicked person in the world. Does he know what is behind him, so he deliberately doesn't look back and intends to piss us off? As we all know, why people who watch Lao Ye's live broadcast are very bad when they speak, because the upper beam is not straight and the lower beam is crooked. Of course Yeshi knew what was behind it. When it falls on the ice and snow, the system will remind him. Ding, congratulations to the host for discovering the world's landscape, the polar ice wall. There are many different legends in the world, and not every legend may be based on reality, but most of the remarks about the polar regions are true. Congratulations, you have solved the mystery of a world, from underground purgatory to polar ice walls. You opened up the cognition of dimensions to the whole world. This is the world ice wall. It is the embodiment of the world dimension and surrounds the entire world. When the world is unblocked, the ice wall will gradually disappear. Reward, world coordinates and anchor points. World coordinates and tracing points. When you leave this planet, you can return to this world at any time through tracing points. On the systematic picture of the emptiness of the universe. In addition to the 3 shining stars, another corner also lit up. From the perspective of netizens in the live broadcast room, you can vaguely see the huge ice wall in the distance that seems to be able to cover the sky, stretching for countless thousands of miles. Everyone looked at this huge polar ice wall. The whole person's thinking quickly became chaotic, and he stared at everything in front of him in stunned silence. Very urgent, eager, like crazy. Ask Yeshi to turn his head, take a look at the ice wall, and then explain to them what it is. At the same time, a world-renowned Riverside University. More than a dozen people have been staring at the large screen in the laboratory to record. As for the others, some were discussing in low voices and communicating with frowns. Why did ye go to this place? The personnel near the Kola Peninsula have been evacuated for surveillance. It seems that it is of no use this time. There is a giant sea monster there. No one wants to try to provoke it. After all, it is Yes pet. What's going on in the Dragon Kingdom? Have you found out what they obtained from Shirley? Someone shook his head. The alert in the Dragon Kingdom has been raised to the highest level, but now is not the time to worry about this matter. What do the alien civilizations we come into contact with say? No, they don't want to have a direct conflict with Ye, and they speculate that Ye should have obtained the inheritance of the ancient Dragon Kingdom. Something big happened 30,000 years ago, and most of the civilizations in Blue Star either disappeared or left, and they may have come back recently. Oh no, this is really disappointing news. Maybe we can choose to contact Ye. Several people discussed it, and some people proposed this possibility, but it was rejected. No, I can't reach him. The technology I possess has completely blocked any way to contact him. There is nothing we can do even if we use. And no one from the Dragon Kingdom can reach Ye. Let's put this plan here. Now I'm worried that Ye will go inside the ice wall. I wonder if he will find those things. As soon as these words came out, everyone present looked bad. Originally, Lao Hu and Fatty Swilly Yang were ordered to watch the live broadcast in accordance with the requirements of their superiors. But when he saw the ghost train, Fatty was called out. When it came time to go to underground purgatory, Lao Hu was called out. When the polar ice wall appears, clatter, clatter. The small room was instantly filled with many people. Someone looked at Yeshi turning around and heading towards the ice wall. I couldn't help but ask. Lao Hu, do you think you can contact Yeshi now and ask him not to go further? After all, Lao Hu is a soldier. Facing this kind of leadership, I couldn't help but stand up straight. But after hearing this, I still shook my head. No, Yeshi is not this kind of person. I think we should not disturb him now. The fat man is carefree. Leader, what does this ice wall have to do with? Why did you all become so anxious when it appeared? This matter involves top secrets. Therefore, no one dared to speak and could only lower their brows. The leader hesitated for a moment and then asked someone to release the confidential documents. I don't know if you have ever doubted this world. Forget it, Yeshi has appeared, and no one has doubted it anymore. This is a polar ice wall, discovered during our exploration. The ice wall surrounding the entire world is like trapping us inside. The leader suddenly laughed. The real world is completely different from the world in textbooks, but ordinary people have no access to it. Many of those special superpowers, or inheritances, are real. He handed the delivered documents to Lao Hu. And then continued. These things are actually not important. After all, there are only so many people with special abilities. But when we were conducting scientific research, we discovered a lot of strange things, whether it was our history or the history of other countries. And many ancient ruins have been excavated, but they have not been announced to the public. It's just like Yeshi's live broadcast, but not as exaggerated as him. Everything was found out. It's not that there are no alien civilizations on Blue Star. We have had contact with alien civilizations before, but their speech is very strange. Originally, these things were buried deeply. Unexpectedly, Yeshi opened the lid during a live broadcast. Look, there are a lot of weird things recorded on it. As for the polar ice wall, it doesn't want Yeshi to contact it because there is another civilization and world that is completely different from human beings. Yeshi was already standing on the ice wall. He zoomed out so that everyone could see the endless world of ice and snow. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 87. The usual perspective is to live broadcast from the perspective of a third party. But now, no one can even see where Yeshi is. Because the lens has zoomed out very far, to the point where the sky is the limit and the world is infinite. Especially with the ice wall surrounding the world. It makes the scene surprisingly touching. Although so far apart. But Yeshi's voice still came out. The ice wall we see now is the ice wall surrounding the world. There are many legendary stories in the world. For example, the mythical creature Hormungandr, the snake that surrounds the world. I am not sure whether it exists. But the wall of ice around the world does exist. In ancient legends, this ice wall resembled a defensive one. Yeshi thought for a while. Great Wall. The great ice wall of a world with a huge project. Incredible, I didn't expect that our entire world is surrounded. I have a question, isn't our world round? How to surround it? I can't imagine this picture. After showing a corner of the world, the camera zoomed back to Yeshi. He glanced at the question in the live broadcast room and explained. The blue star is round, but the earth we are on is not necessarily round. And this ice wall has nothing to do with whether the world is round or not. This world ice wall is like a four-dimensional product placed in a three-dimensional space. It is not constrained by our three-dimensional space and time. I don't understand, I am not Zhuangzi and I don't know the happiness of fish. I am not a four-dimensional person and I don't know the four-dimensional time and space. The upstairs is a bit philosophical thinking about it this way, could Zhuangzi really feel the happiness of the fish? In that case, is it the purgatory passage that Lao Ye walked through? I drew a map according to the route I took all the way. As a result, it got stuck when I drew the passage. There is no way to determine its position. You really did draw it, right? What kind of ultimate god? Yes, she didn't expect someone to actually draw it, and his eyes were a little surprised. Yes, it's the same as what this friend said, it should be the gap in dimensions. I'm inside the ice wall now, and I have to keep walking along here. Yes, she jumped up lightly. Xianlong's sword appeared at his feet with a clanging sound. The bronze divine sword has not been enlarged. But I can barely stand on it with one foot. But such a gesture made people scream. The legendary flying sword. I really saw it here in Laoye today. I feel like I have a goal to strive for in life again. I'm most afraid that Laoye will talk to us about science now. How can you still talk about science when you've already flown with a sword? It seems that a bigger place is indeed beneficial, brother. Yeah, I don't know how many surprises you have. Yeah, she just gave it a try. Unexpectedly, I actually realized the sword flying that I had always wanted to do. But after a few random attempts, yeah, she finally fell to the ground. The live broadcast room was already in a state of excitement, and hot searches were once again covered. Especially those who have always thought that the spiritual energy will be revived, now they can't wait to practice dancing at home. When the leaves fall on the ice and snow again. Looking up at the barrage in the live broadcast room, it is almost impossible to capture it with the naked eye. Bite. The sound of the system came out. When he heard this familiar voice, yes, he couldn't help but complain in his heart. This is so far away, why is it still the illustrated guide to Korra's drilling? Based on the current location, shouldn't it be the Polar Ice and Snow illustrated book? And after Yeshi finished speaking, the system's original dinging sound suddenly changed. Ding! Congratulations to the host for improving the exploration of the fourth secret realm by 19%, and the overall progress is now 51%. Ding! Congratulations to the host for unlocking the third puzzle piece of the fourth secret realm. You will be rewarded with Snow Soul, Spaceship Operation Technology, Advanced Genetic Energy Liquid X10, and the fourth secret realm Fragment X1. The fourth secret realm illustrated book, Nibiru. The Nibiru people, they look exactly like the lizard people you have seen before. They come from the planet Nibiru. You can also call them lizard people. They come from an extraterrestrial planet and possess the technological civilization of interstellar travel. Some people regard them as for the origin of mankind, right? Of course not. Snow spirit, what is left after the death of the creatures in the ice and snow? Judging from the current dimension, you cannot see a living snow spirit. It allows you to possess the power of ice and snow, create frost and snow, and also change the weather on a small scale. Yes, she didn't expect the system to be so good. After hearing its reminder, yes, I realized that there was an extraterrestrial civilization living outside the ice wall. When did they come and why did they fall outside the ice wall? Ding, it's the blue star that came about 10,000 years ago. It fell outside the ice wall because they are not all species on this planet and will be excluded by the original rules. Yes, she felt strange for a moment. I never expected that I would encounter aliens here. Wait a minute, if you put it this way, doesn't it mean that the higher UPS of mankind have long known that there are aliens here? Yes. Yes, she raised his eyebrows. Although I have long known that those high-level officials know much more about the entire world than ordinary people. But when this was actually confirmed, I was still a little surprised. So they are. Yes, she hadn't finished speaking yet, as if he suddenly understood something. I know, invisible shield. Ding, host, please pay attention, there are weapons targeting you, the Nibiru people are trying to make a precise attack. Yeshi's sixth senses are so good. And the system reminded Yeshi when the Nibiru people started discussing. So. Boom boom. A laser cannon blasted towards the position where Yeshi was standing, scaring the netizens who were originally discussing the ice wall and flying swords. The thick ice layer at the original place had been blown through, and there was a piece of smoke and dust next to it that made it difficult to see the specific appearance. Hum, hum, what's going on? I left for less than a second. Why did the world change? Who is it, actually attacking Laoye directly? They want to die, right? This doesn't look like a beast monster. This is a human weapon. No, this is technology. What the hell is going on? No, brother, yeah, he is fine, too shameless. Who is this? Which country is he from? How dare he do this? Inside an invisible protective shield. The Nibiru people smiled. They were sure that with this laser cannon, such ordinary humans would never survive. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 88. As soon as Yeshi appeared on the ice sheet, the Nibiru people had already monitored his whereabouts. It was just because he was not sure who Yeshi was that he did not choose to take action immediately. However, after monitoring for most of the day, it was discovered that Yeshi was really the only one. One of the Nibiru people couldn't help but shake his head. Tell your partner next to you. I didn't expect that we could see such a joke about carbon-based life, haha. Let's see how to deal with this human being later. Another Nibiru lizard's tail waggled, his face full of ridicule. What should we do with such a weak human being? Now that we are outside the ice wall, just let it disappear. Many Nibiru people were hiding in the protective shield to look at the leaves. It's like watching a joke. These Nibiru people are so strange. It is indeed extremely stupid to think about carbon-based life in this world. And how did this human being escape the blockade in front? They were originally prepared to wait a little longer and explore what was happening outside the ice wall. But when Yeshi approached their base, this observation is irrelevant. After all, no matter how special the carbon-based organisms in the Earth are, they are not special in any way. So, they intend to tackle the front leaves directly. Just to be on the safe side, the Nibiru people will not appear in front of humans. The weapons used by Nibiru, which is already an interstellar civilization, are naturally laser weapons. When a piece of ice is blasted away, the water below is exposed. Countless thick smoke covered the screen in front of me. Netizens suddenly became anxious. The expressions of those special personnel watching Yeshi's live broadcast also changed greatly. Not sure why this is happening. Yeshi almost teleported to another place as soon as the laser weapon was turned on. When I saw the Nibiru people using weapons so arrogantly, Yeshi's face felt cold. There is still nothingness in front of me. Because the invisible shield confuses human vision. Just when some people are in a hurry, the smoke dissipated. Yeshi held the sword with one hand, and all the energy in his body was concentrated on the tip of the sword. A bright sword light split everything in front of it. However, when the cracked sword light hit the void in front of him, suddenly, it's like it can't be cut down. At this time, layers of light lit up on the ice sheet. It seemed that Yeshi's sword had activated something. Everyone can see a continuous stretch of buildings in front of them. A very small house, it seems to be green, very conspicuous in the ice and snow. Oh my god, gulp. Holy shit, what kind of sci-fi world is this? Gasp, I saw the legendary lizard man, am I not dazzled? So what is this? How could there be such a thing outside the ice wall? I am God, it's so wonderful. There's something wrong upstairs, I'm not sure, I'll take a look again. After Yeshi moved his position, he held the sword in his right hand. The contents of the Xuanhuan sword sutra flowed in his heart. Then he raised his hand and executed one of the sword moves, and the brilliant sword light swung forward. He slashed at the invisible protective shield, forcing the protective shield to mobilize energy to resist Yeshi's attack. After the laser cannon, Yeshi's breath of life appears again. Within the protective cover, the green face of a lizardman who seemed to be of a very high level turned even greener. Didn't you say this is just an ordinary carbon-based human? Can ordinary carbon-based life withstand laser cannons? The lizard man who ordered the bombing of Yeshi stiffened when he heard this. Then he immediately calmed down and stood upright. Even the tail of the lizard behind him stopped swaying, and his tone was very firm. Sir, don't worry. Whether he is an ordinary carbon-based human or not, he alone cannot break through our protective shield. I will send someone to lock the weapon immediately. Everything is under control. It assured the lizard man in front of it. It's not that the high-level lizardmen were worried about Yeshi breaking through their protective shield. I just feel dissatisfied with the big commotion caused by my subordinates. But when the protective shield above his head began to shake a second later, everyone felt like a loser. Just when the high-level lizard man stared, ready to curse again. Poof. It's like the sound of an eggshell breaking. Yeshi's whole body's strength surged to the bronze divine sword in his hand. Above the ice field, there seemed to be an extremely clear sound of sword chanting. Click, 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 click. The shield didn't even sound a whine. It shattered directly. And the base of the Nibiru planet also appeared in front of everyone. People can't help but move closer to see clearly what all this is. Yeshi felt that it was just a slight exertion. I originally planned to use the enlarged move, but I didn't expect that there was no enlarged move at all. He broke the protective shield in front of him and was speechless for a moment. I couldn't help but ask in my heart. System, why did the other party act like this? Ding, if the other party didn't pull it, how could it change from an interstellar civilization to an terrestrial civilization and hide outside the ice wall? Yeshi thought it made sense. As for the lizardmen within the protective shield, as early as when the protective shield was in emergency. People are stupid. When they completely lost their protective shield and appeared in front of Yeshi, these people trembled all over. The Nibiru man who was talking nonsense just now was beaten and rolled away. A loud voice full of anger resounded in the live broadcast room. You humming call this having everything under control? Eat shit, you. The leaves fall to the ground again. The hand holding Xuanhuan's sword felt slightly sore. After some activity, I discovered through internal inspection that the self-recovery ability of 9 Yang Divine Art was brought from martial arts to Xiangxia. All the energy that was just consumed has been restored. He stepped on the ground, holding the sword in one hand. Slowly headed towards the Nibiru base in front of him. What a hilarious theater, by the way, why can I understand what the lizard man says? Perhaps you have lived in Blue Star for a long time, so you have to do as the locals do, right? Yeshen's move is so cool, and I just saw him hanging in the void without relying on his sword. Originally, I was worried that some garbage would sneak up on our Yeshen and hurt him. Now look, haha, it turns out they are just a bunch of clowns. And Yeshi's voice came out slowly. He explained to the person on his live broadcast. Actually, I already felt something was wrong on the ice sheet when I got close. But I didn't expect these lizardmen to use laser cannons directly on me. Speaking of this, Yeshi sneered. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 89. Then he raised his head and glanced at the message in the live broadcast room, and casually shook the Xiankong sword in his hand. Of course, what I didn't expect was, the Nibiru people who can carry out interstellar travel are so rubbish, I haven't even used my second sword yet. Speaking of which, he shrugged his shoulders, as if he really said something ordinary. It made people in the special departments feel a little bit sad. Especially when they are still discussing the triple X world over there, Lao Hu from Blue Star XXXX. When he turned around, he saw Yeshi splitting the Nibiru people's protective shield with his sword. The corners of his eyes couldn't help but twitch. At this time, the fat man, who was particularly blind, looked at the leader with a pair of pure eyes and said, "Leader, didn't you say that these people are difficult to deal with? Why did Lao Ye just solve them with just one sword?" Lead. Everyone. Awkwardness and silence are tonight's Cambridge. And here, Yeshi is still conducting science popularization to all netizens. Actually, regarding the Nibiru people, I was. Forget it, I won't explain where I saw it. Anyway, you all know it? You will know if you read more. Hitui, how else to put it, shameless or you, Lao Ye, are shameless. Kick the doorframe, Yeshen is the great wisdom, we are the little wisdom. As soon as I heard Yeshen say this, I knew where Yeshen saw it from. 1,000 miles never leave 1,000 miles away, void licking, right, doorframe, you weren't like this before. Kick the doorframe, that's it. Anyone who doesn't understand Yeshenhua's meaning will be treated as idiots. I asked you to study more, but you ended up raising pigs. Hee, a bunch of idiots. How can you deserve to watch Yeshenhua's live broadcast room? Nibiru in our blue star is translated as fairy. According to legend, Nibiru comes to the solar system every 3,600 years. Of course, this statement most likely refers to interstellar communication. From the Along to the five-color altar to Atlantis and the ancient gods, everyone should be able to fully understand how fantastic this world is. Judging from the many five-color altars on Blue Star, I'm afraid it was very prosperous in ancient times, so the Nibiru people would come to our planet every so long. What a coincidence. Everyone knows that something happened to Blue Star 30,000 years ago, and many civilizations were disconnected. When Yeshi said this, everyone thought of the scene of the destruction of Atlantis seen on the bottom of the sea. I couldn't help but tremble in my heart. But I heard Yeshi continue to say, "But it's different from what you think. Those mythical things recorded in fantasy novels will not disappear immediately. Anyone who has read history should know that in ancient times thousands of years ago, there were many records about aliens and myths. History, how come I don't know about this? According to the records of supplements, 30 years after Emperor Yao ascended the throne, a huge spaceship appeared on the lower sea. At night, it gave off a soft light, as if it came from the stars. And the first Emperor Yingzheng also met with people from the Wanku kingdom who came from the bottom of the sea in a spaceship, and told Yingzheng the legend of Penglai Fairy Island and the elixir of immortality. Yeshi had already walked through the layer of ice that had been blasted away. The particularly miraculous thing is that the blasted place quickly returned to its original appearance. Occasionally someone noticed this. But more people pricked up their ears and watched without blinking, listening to Yeshi continue to say. At the same time, you can type with both hands and search for terms on another interface. These Nibiru people came to Blue Star to communicate and found that Blue Star's civilization was getting worse and worse. In addition, something seemed to have happened on Nibiru Star. They chose to come to Blue Star to settle. But it's a pity that at that time there were still gods and gods in the world. So the Nibiru people were driven into the ice and snow fields. You know, they are lizard people, they prefer the forest, but there is no other way. If you can't defeat them and want to live there, you can only make this choice. However, as time goes by, many things gradually disappear. I've told you the reason for this problem. Because of the inversion of dimensions, even if you don't understand it, I don't understand it very well. Yeshi frowned and rubbed his eyebrows as he said this. Laughing to death, I suddenly felt that the old Ye in front of me was completely out of reach. When did you feel that Lao Ye was unattainable upstairs? When to whet our appetites, or when to deliberately harm us? Due to the regression of civilization, the world's ice wall slowly appeared, and it actually blocked the Nibiru people from outside. Yeshi smiled brightly. The lizard men in front of them who were looking at Yeshi trembled, as if they had awakened the fear in their genes. Thinking of those humans tens of thousands of years ago, he couldn't help but lower his head. After a long period of communication isolation. Then after our technological explosion, people exploring the polar regions discovered the ice wall surrounding the world and the Nibiru aliens outside the ice wall. When talking about technological civilization at that time, it was obvious that we could not compare with these lizard people. When Yeshi said this, he raised his head and glanced at the camera, spread his hands, revealing 8 crystal teeth, and a bright smile bloomed on his face. So, congratulations, you have seen real aliens. Thank you for your congratulations, but I think it's unnecessary. What do you think? I see those lizardmen are so panicked. Why do they seem so afraid of Lao Ye? Are they scared by just one sword? No way, it's just one sword. Kick the door frame. Indeed, it's just one sword. I'll send you to experience it. Do you want to? 1,000 miles without staying. Isn't this my line? Can you please stop stealing my work? I just learned a new word. Old yet is really a YYDS. I haven't finished talking yet. Because of the technology that is far ahead of the times, some people have reached an agreement with the Nibiru people. That is, the exchange of resources and science and technology. The research institute, which should have had many people talking, was silent. The fat man took a large stack of information and glanced at the leader. Is this what you are talking about? World secrets? You mean the secrets known to everyone in the world, right? Xuanhuan couldn't help it this time, and laughed out loud. After laughing, she realized that it was not good, and quickly changed her expression to a serious one, and then said seriously, "Sorry, leader, I can't hold it back." The leader's face turned blue, white, and red, which was even funnier than the Sichuan opera face changing. Finally, he snorted and sat directly in the best position to watch the live broadcast. Okay, let's not talk about secrets today. Let's come to this yet. Brother yet, what else can he say? This time, old who couldn't help it either. When the people in the live broadcast room heard what Yeshi said, some of them suddenly realized. Golden Hair Bay, no wonder there are so many UFOs in the world appearing from time to time on the blue planet. If so, they are all here to attend the market. God damn, a market, I haven't seen you for a few days. How did you become so funny, Lao Bei? So it turns out that the top leaders have known about aliens for a long time. Good guy, so they kept it from us, right? I have always believed in UFOs. Wait, didn't you watch the news? Many countries have recognized UFOs a long time ago. ALA country. No wonder there are so many UFOs and many extraterrestrial civilizations. It turns out they are here to attend the market. Yang Xuanhuan. Exploring the world, starting from the discovery of the white bone dragon pond. Author, Wo Yi Pian Hai. Chapter 90. Yeshi was still explaining about the Nibiru people who appeared in front of him. Looking out of the corner of his eye, he saw the comments posted by netizens, especially the frequently mentioned word "go to the market." Yeshi was stunned. He felt like he was going to be laughed to death by these troll netizens, and the originally high-end Star Trek suddenly became down to earth. Going to the market? Yeshi hissed, with a strange look in his eyes. Probably, maybe, that's right. Just communicating with each other. Of course, don't ask me what exactly you are communicating about, or wait until I can find the information. The barrage was filled with chatter, and some people complained, asking Yeshi not to be afraid of being exposed. Anyway, it's pretty much exposed. Yeshi continued to say without changing his expression. Everyone knows that Blue Star is already very big, but Blue Star is just a very small star in the universe. Let alone the solar system or the Milky Way. The vast number of stars is countless. It's strange that in such a vast space and such a long time, there is only one intelligent civilization, human beings. So even if this place used to be as busy as a vegetable market, it's normal. What's abnormal is now. The Nibiru people can completely understand what Yeshi is saying. But every time they heard him say a word, their hearts felt cold. By the end, the whole body was as cold as the ice that had been frozen for tens of thousands of years. Why does this human being know so much about our planet Nibiru? A high-level Nibiru star gritted his teeth and asked in a low voice. Many lizardmen shook their tails in confusion. Only one lizard man with wrinkled skin seemed to recall a long, long time ago. The records from the home planet say that a long time ago, the humans on this planet were not the carbon-based life we see. It's just that as time goes by, human beings become more and more common. I felt a change in the planet not long ago. I thought it was an accident, but judging from the person in front of me, it turns out what I felt was true. The world is beginning to recover. He should be a human being who survived from ancient times and didn't wake up until today. The lizard man's old voice came out, which aroused these people's curiosity. A younger lizard man looked at Yeshi's body and asked incomprehensibly, "Do those legendary races that can live tens of thousands of years really exist?" The skin on the old lizard man's face stretched out. "I don't know, I haven't seen it either, but it is indeed like this in the records, and this is the race we encountered before." Then Yeshi didn't know that he had been classified as an ancient person tens of thousands of years ago by Nibiru aliens. Just casually chatting with netizens watching the live broadcast. And when I saw some netizens asking him why he was bombarded, Yeshi was also very innocent. He said, "You ask me why I was bombarded with lasers. How do I know? Wouldn't it be better to ask now and find out?" Yeshi pointed to the nearby base. "Very close, so close that you can see the words on the base. The last time I saw Brother Ye being so confused was the last time I laughed so hard, but are these lizard people going to be doomed? Performing killing people in front of a live broadcast? Kicks the door frame, can you speak? You look the same as them, right? Come and let me see if you don't look the same. Don't speak. I'm so happy who is as human as these lizards. Even if Yeshen really kills them, it's called killing lizards. Damn it, what have you become to the door frame?" Golden mouse, I kept zooming in on the screen to observe these aliens, and then I found many traces of tools used by us humans, and these Nibiru aliens were talking to each other. "My favorite Pikachu, is it okay for you to kill a lizard? I don't even dare to kill my chickens." Yeshi walked into the base. Suddenly, swoosh, swoosh. The Nibiru people who were still communicating with each other all looked at Yeshi. Then walked over. Yeshi didn't expect that the protective shield was split open by his sword. These Nibiru people were so brave. But since the other party is so brave, he wouldn't mind taking action again. Yeshi held the Xiankong sword in his hand and slowly raised his hand. I saw that the Nibiru star walking at the front suddenly slipped on his foot. With a pop, he knelt down in front of Yeshi. All viewers watching the live broadcast. "Sorry, I originally thought there was going to be an epic plot involving Inhumans, referring to Yeshen, fighting aliens. I was ready with popcorn and fat water, but who wanted to get a sliding shovel from the opposite side? Kinli Buletin Ling Xing, let me ask a sole question, that is, did I really fall or did I fall on purpose? Kick the door frame, can you save some face for them?" Of course these lizardmen kicked it down on purpose. They were frightened by the sword of Yeshen. "This is blowing like black powder. What are you doing?" Yeshi still held the Xiankong sword in his hand and raised his eyebrows. I was very surprised by the behavior of the lizard man in front of me. I only heard the other party say, "I sincerely apologize for offending you by my people." Yeshi looked at the scene in front of him with a smile. I really didn't expect these people on the other side to be so cowardly. "So, we can do our best to compensate," and please forgive us for the offense. Everyone who heard the other party's words when Zozo was very surprised. Yashi touched his chin and felt that the lizard man in front of him looked at him a little strangely. Oh. Just like when I look at Queen Jingju. It seems because of Yeshi's silence. So these lizard people felt that Yeshi was dissatisfied with their attitude. Then he quickly said, I'm very sorry. We came here to live on this planet to avoid disaster on our home planet. We only have records of etiquette from a long time ago, but as time has changed, we don't know much about it anymore. Sorry for any offense. Yeshi never knew how to speak. I really didn't expect that these aliens thought they were ancients. But there was no need to fight anymore, Yeshi was too lazy to do anything. He just turned his head and looked at the small machine above him. You made a mistake. I'm not the old guy you think I am, I'm just an ordinary human explorer. As we headed underground, we passed through the lava and came to the ice field. When I saw the ice wall of the world, I didn't expect to encounter Unibara people. So. Yeshi didn't even raise his eyelids. The sword light in his hand flashed across, slitting the throats of the people behind him. He fell down in response, shocking everyone's eyes. Damn, this is too neat and tidy, aren't you still talking, why did you take action? Because it was the laser cannon those people used against Brother Ye.